activities.
Sorry.
That's okay. There's a lot of activities. So I'm finding, we're getting involved in, book clubs and golf and trivia night and things like that, which is a lot of fun, but it prevents me from getting other things done. And before you know it, the days go by, the week goes by, and I'm attending your next How to Get Organized Zoom meeting. I wish I had a success story, but not yet.
Well, it's it takes a long time getting organized, and it's something, it's not something you wake up one day and you do and then you're done for your whole life.
Right.
It's like what does Zig Ziglar say? It's like taking a shower. He says positive thinking is like that. You don't just go to a positive thinking seminar one day and then you're good your whole life. You have to do it bathing. So that's great. And yes, Laura, that is a common theme that organizers, I've been to like the professional organizers meet up, and they have the same type of issue where they find it very easy to help others get organized, but when it comes to their own selves, it's a little more difficult. So
well, like I said, I've got both ADD and ADHD. So I've got that extra challenge that we need hyper organized or super chaos. And what I found works really well is that I allow myself one thing that's total chaos. My dirty laundry, I just dump on the floor. That's my chaos dump. And then I'm trying to get everything else organized. But I had moved during the middle of the plague, and my homemaker, well, I'm pretty well convinced right now that he's a very high functioning Asperger, but he would start a project, he'd do a half job and never finish it. So you've got this mess that's half done and you can't do anything with it.
Yep. So
and it is
just on your plan too. Get him.
And it was bloody frustrating.
But you can't organize for other people. That is one thing that is very difficult, trying to enforce organizing onto family members. So
I don't touch family members. I don't even go there.
Well, everybody, thank you for sharing. Those are
I was going to say, I understand about the relocating, because one thing I didn't mention was December 4th of 2019, my divorce went final. And then in January, I relocated from Troy, Michigan to Shelby Township, Michigan, from a house to a condo. And then that was in January of 2020. And then in March of 2020, we all went on lockdown.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's been an interesting 2 years.
Yes. And it's interesting in the Chinese euphemism, interesting. And the Chinese euphemism, may you live in interesting times. Interesting in that case means may you live in a time of civil war. So interesting times.
So I just sent out in the chat a link to the project plan that we have here so that you can print it out. You can print out as many copies as you want if you want to use it for more than one project or more than one goal, as we're using it tonight for goal setting. So if you want to print out a couple and you can use them all for different goals, then that's great. But tonight I want you all to just pick one specific goal that we're going to work on for 2022 to get organized. So maybe if you wanted to get better, like Martha, unpacking. So maybe you're going to pick a specific area where you have all boxes, maybe like one room. I'm going to unpack these boxes, or, so it works better if you can focus on a smaller target rather than trying to just like set all the goals and plan for everything.
Right.
So for me, my 2022 goal is going to be to do some traveling and spend more time with family. So I'm gonna try to mesh these two together because my family lives all over. So I'm gonna kind of double dip here with this goal and hopefully visit family that I can travel to. So the first box of our quadrant project plan is going to be the resources needed. So in this box, you'll go through and you'll brainstorm all the different resources that you need for your specific goals. So for Michael, for your workshops, maybe you need specific research, or maybe you need a list of companies that you're going to market these to, or a resource for you could also be a specific, like a website or a website update,
Right.
things like that. So that's everything you want to list in this first box.
Yeah, and target audience.
Exactly. So if you print this out, or you can even, if you don't have a printer, you can just literally take a piece of paper, fold it in quadrants, and then follow the same, simple plan that we have here. And, if you don't have a printer, you can use any paper. So for the art goal, maybe your resources needed is, you need specific types of paints or specific things from mixed media, or maybe you need, a place in your house where you're gonna set everything up, or, what else could it be? It could be, I need to set aside time every Saturday afternoon from 3 to 4. So time could be a resource, or, it could also be, like same thing with Michael, like a website, target audience, those could be resources. But for me, I came up with a few, like for my goal to travel more and visit family. So my first resource is going to be a list of people that I want to go visit, and like their phone numbers, where they live, because I don't have everybody's information, like my cousins, and I'm not as close to them as I would like to be. So I need to first get all that information together, and that's one of my resources. Also, another one for me could be a travel agent, depending on where I'm going and what kind of trips I'm planning. I'm not just going to stay with family members. If I'm going to be serious about traveling, I might need a travel agent to help me plan maybe like a cruise or something. Another one for me could be just taking off time off in my schedule. So like if I don't block time off and I don't take it off, it's going to be very difficult for me to travel, because like Martha said, by the time you're ready, it's like a year later and you didn't take action on it. So for me, I think that's one thing I need. Another person that wants to come into our meeting. So all these different things are resources, and other things could be, you need money, a certain amount of money put together. You need a coach, or, you need an accountability partner. Maybe if you're doing unpacking, a resource could be a helper for the afternoon, maybe, getting some helpers somewhere. That could be a good resource. Does anybody have any ideas of resources that I didn't necessarily mention?
I was just thinking when you were saying coaching, I mean, sometimes just like going on YouTube for,
Yeah.
lessons, information, got ways to guide.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
kind of
exactly.
thing.
So like online research could be definitely a resource, or YouTube, because that makes it easier, and it's in a more like digestible format. Another thing that just popped up for me could be going to the library and getting books. That could be a resource, library books. So those are all different, those are the things that you need to start listing in this organizing project plan. So yeah, here I already listed it out. So I've, I might need a dog sitter or a house sitter. Obviously I need my calendar, and maybe I could even set up at the bank like a vacation fund. Sometimes they have that. where you can have a separate fund at the bank to start planning and setting money aside. So the next step that we're going to go through in our project plan is what steps that you actually need to take. So are the goals that we talked about. So we have finding a new job, unpacking, doing workshops, writing a novel. So I'll pick on the artwork again. So what would your steps be to complete these pieces of artwork, the 10 to 15?
Well, I am working with prints, so I'd have to pull the prints, and that involves more steps because you have to start with an image. I carve out an image. Then I have to ink it on a plate, pull it onto paper, assess, the quality of those prints. And I am also, part of the process that I'm dealing with is that I'm hand coloring. So there's quite a few steps in just producing the actual print. And then, I would mat and frame the print. And so, I think that my main goal for the year is preparing these things, not so much as maybe the next stage of, I hear some people are ready to go to a printer or something. I'm not necessarily, like a professional service to have their work put out to the public. I'm not sure if that's quite where I feel like I'm at. So
right, and that's good because you're picking a smaller goal instead of trying to do everything all at the same time. So that's a lot of steps. I wouldn't have definitely expected it to be that involved, but this part is just about getting all the steps out of your brain. It's like more of a brainstorm. I see Elizabeth put in the chat, plan ? Might go to steps in order. So the first part is about more just like putting them all out, all the steps that you would need, and then we'll put them in order. So who else has some ideas of what you could put down for steps for your goal?
Well, for me, I'm in the process of doing this, and I kind of pick a room where I know there are a lot of boxes in, and say I'm just going to, go into the guest room, for instance, and work on the boxes that are in there, and just pull the contents of a box out, and kind of, have three little areas. Am I going to donate it, or am I going to keep it, or trash it, or whatever. The thing I get hung up on a little that prevents me from making a whole lot of progress is I tend to find stuff in the boxes that maybe was in my family for years. And even though I might not like the thing, or it might even be broken, the sentimental part of it makes it hard for me to throw away and or discard. And then before you know it, once I have that in my mind, then the other things in the boxes all end up being sentimental too. And then I just, I don't know how to deal with that.
Yeah. Did you ever read the book, the Marie Kondo?
Of course. Yeah.
So what is she has a 5-step order.
Yeah.
So
Kimona's the sentimental stuff, isn't it?
yeah, no, kimono I think is miscellaneous.
Okay.
But sentimental gets dealt with last.
Yeah, that's right.
That's right. Set those items aside. Maybe choose one thing that actually, I also needed an organizer at one point to come in and help me set up my home. So I hired a lady, Robin Stanikowski, who's another local organizer, and she said, pick a box and say that's the box for all my sentimental things that I just can't get rid of. And once that box is full, then you gotta maybe get rid of some things. But
yeah,
if you choose the size of the box, and at least that's like a limit to the amount of sentimental things that you can hold on to.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing that we're finding is that we're having someone come in and help us to decorate our house since it's so different in the South.
Mhm.
And, I know the furniture doesn't really, lend itself to being here in the South, but what's really interesting is the little knickknacks, again, that are from my family or just, I always thought were great. She's coming in and saying, oh, that's awful, throw it away, you don't want that. And, it's really hard because she has one taste, I have another taste, and, who says what's right and wrong? And then I get frustrated. I've thrown a couple things away that she told me to throw away. And now it's like, oh, what good, did I take it to Goodwill or Salvation Army? I want to go back and buy it because I miss it,
Yeah.
Well, sometimes
See,
you
you've got to spend time interviewing your interior designer to
can
make sure that their tastes are in line with yours.
Yeah.
Because
yeah.
I look at these interior designers on TV and I'm going, you're full of horse pucky people.
Yeah.
Yeah, I totally agree because we actually, one of my clients is an interior designer down in main line of Philadelphia, and we did have to interview assistants for her. And
Uh-huh.
one of the things with the assistants is, their portfolio pictures. And so I thought the one lady was great and she had a great personality, but then when she sent her portfolio pictures, that style didn't match up with the
Huh.
style of my client, and so she's
Yeah.
not selected.
How
You know,
about that?
yeah, and guess what? We actually had, this is crazy, for this part-time interior design assistant position, we received over 100 applications and had
Wow.
$0 advertising for this
Huh.
job. So it was just amazing how many different people there
Yeah.
are that want to get involved in that.
Mhm.
How different the styles really are, because
Yeah.
like some of the more trendy designers, like
Right.
put all this wallpaper up and like hot pink, and oh my
Yeah.
god, it's just like not, like she says, not my style at all. But
Yeah. Huh.
so yeah, I do agree with that statement. But if you are feeling like that, I would maybe suggest taking a picture of the items and
Yeah.
keeping those pictures all together so that you can at least relive the memories of the items without having, to actually physically store the physical item
Yeah.
for the rest of
Yeah.
your life. Because
That's a good idea.
my family, we like I said, we downsized a 13-acre property, and that was intense. And my dad, he had so many items that we had no room for
Yeah.
mom to, as she had over like 2,000 CDs in our living room because
Oh,
her business, and those were promotional CDs, but I couldn't continue to store all the things that she had there. So
yeah.
I have photos, and sometimes I look back at the photos and I think of those, all the times I was at the computer desk as like a young teenager, and
Mm.
how fondly we remember the CDs, and kept a few of the records, but just most of it had to be either sold or donated or, like you said, trashed. So, but I do have those pictures, and like, I took up pictures of all the t-shirts that I got rid of, and maybe one day I'll make one of those photo blankets and be like,
Yeah.
that's my idea, to kind of do like a photo or a t-shirt quilt
Uh-huh.
without paying like $300 to have
Yeah.
it made. So yeah, taking pictures of the items, if it's sentimental, can give you the ability to look back on the memories without having to keep it for
Right. Right.
so that's one strategy. But also the box, like I do like the box where it's just one box and that's how much
Uh-huh.
space I'm gonna keep, and it gives you like a physical limit to how much things
Right.
that you can hold on to sentimental. So for me, for my goal, it's going to be my steps would be to reach out to one person to start setting up some of these traveling and to visit family members, getting on my calendar and actually, like I said, putting the dates down, making reservations, taking the days off on my schedule so I don't end up, filling that time. Making plans for activities. Actually, we do have one trip that's planned. We're going to be going to Ohio for my husband's cousin's wedding. So I was already looking at all the little activities we can do in Columbus. So I'm almost there with my goal. I'm taking one trip. If we're gonna stay with family members, I would definitely like to bring them a gift to thank them for letting us stay with them. Deciding if I'm gonna fly or drive there, and just, bottom line, just making time for this goal. So then, after we list all the steps, it's helpful to put them all in a certain order. So this will give you a sequence, and it'll give you like the next step to your goal. So you're not just like, again, trying to do everything all at the same time. So is anybody writing this down? Okay, so do you want to share your steps in order, Laura? Or Laurie? Either or. Everyone wants to
Okay, so there's both of us in here. Okay, I'll let her go.
Thanks. My goal is to set up a sewing area in my home this year.
Okay.
So my home already has a lot of things filling up the nooks and crannies and various areas, just because my husband lived there as a child and continued living there
That's
as
really
a bachelor for many years. So it's my job is to first talk him into getting rid of some things. And then we'll have to pack up. There's a cabinet there that we need to move or get rid of, put elsewhere. So, get some maybe moving boxes, pack stuff into there, decide what to do with that. Some of it's mine, some of it isn't mine. And then either donate that or put it somewhere else. And then there's also a recliner in that area that we should probably just get rid of. So then I just need to find a desk for the sewing machine and, a desk chair, and then just clear out a little space around to have supplies and that sort of thing. And then of course, YouTube videos, library books on how to sew, all of that. So
Great. Awesome. Yeah, that's a very logical sequence, and like it breaks it up into little tiny chunks. So that's awesome. And does anybody else want to share their steps in order? Okay, you don't have to. You guys have been sharing a lot, so thank you for being so engaged today. So my first step is going to be to make the time, and then call or text the person, then schedule the dates, then decide if I'm flying, then make reservations, and of course buy tickets. Tell my clients I can't be with them those days, which is so hard for me. Make plans for the activities, and then purchase the gifts, set out, and then have a great time. So that's going to be, I had to make it an even 10 steps there for myself. So the last little box of our project plan is the desired end result. So what will success look like or feel like? So Martha, I'm going to pick on you. What will success look like and feel like for finishing your unpacking project?
Well, it'll feel like there's finally some order, and I'll be able to breathe kind of easier. I won't be looking around every room and saying, I need to do this, I need to do that. I won't know what to do with myself, actually.
You have to go volunteer at the library.
I'm looking forward to those days. And, hopefully we'll never get to the point where it feels cluttered again.
Yeah.
Even drink things stupid like drinking glasses. I'll buy drinking glasses and I'll have a set of like 6 of them, and 4 of the older glasses are still okay, so I don't get rid of them. Well, it's like, do you really need, we have a house for 2 people. We don't need like 20 drinking glasses, but we keep them. So I just need to get into that mindset. So I'll be pretty happy when I don't have to wrestle with putting a drinking glass in the cabinet, or, having laundry that I don't know where to go with it and stuff. So I'm looking forward to that day.
Absolutely. So it'll feel like a lot less stress and you'll feel
Right.
accomplished. And
And the other thing too is I've not done since we've been down here. You know, we'll get invited over to people's homes for dinner, and my natural instinct is to invite them over, you know, to as a way of thanking them. And now I'm so mortified. It's like I don't want anyone coming into the house. So I'm looking forward to entertaining again, which will be fun.
yeah, that's a big goal, you know,
Yeah.
getting it all finished and so that you can show it off to everybody.
Yeah.
Know with their
Yeah.
new interior design too. That'd be great. But yeah, I think that a lot of people end up with a lot of mixed match drinking glasses in my family too. And I feel like it just would be a lot cleaner and like simpler to have, you know, like you said, only a few different sets instead of
Right.
you know, onesie twosies or ones that are like
Yep.
paint's chipped off or they just don't
Yeah.
look nice. So for me, I have a, you know, bunch of my dad lives here with me and my husband's mom and his stepdad. So they all, you know, contribute to my drinking glass problem too. And I'll just keep bringing them. So who else would like to share what their desired end result, what will success look like and feel like? How about you, Michael? What will that feel like when you finish your book? And obviously it'll look like a book, but you're unmuted. I'm gonna ask you to unmute.
I was muted, yeah. It looks like a book.
Yeah, obviously.
I've got some ideas on distribution, but desired end result would be to sell a bazillion copies.
Right, to have financial success from the book.
Well,
Or
that's partially, yeah. I mean, there's a certain amount of that. But you know, as it says, you know, behind the best revenge is massive success.
I have,
So yeah, that's that. It's actually okay. I got the idea for writing this a couple of years ago. I had rewatched Fiddler on the Roof. And then a couple of days later, I was listening to in the background, Neil Diamond, what was the name of that song? America.
Mhm.
And something clicked about putting those two guys. There's a story there to be told.
awesome.
Just as long as
Plus-
it doesn't coming out like Yentl.
Yeah. Plus, all my grandparents went through exactly what I'm writing about.
Right. Yeah. So success will look like you know, having the achievement.
Yeah, so it'll be the achievement, it'll be telling the story, making $1 or $2.
Having the satisfaction of being an author,
Mhm.
which is so few people can say that. I have one client who's an author of several books, Rich Plinky, and you know, I actually have his t-shirt. He has 3, and he put out a Three's Company t-shirt because of the 3rd book, and now there's 4. So he recommends using it as like a boost to your professional success. You know, you can go and do interviews because you're a published author, and it opens doors that you wouldn't normally have access to when you're an author. So
Exactly. And it's like, you know, hey, I told you I could do it.
yeah, awesome. Who else wants to share what will success look like or feel like?
Well, the obvious is being employed.
And how will that feel?
It will be wonderful because I'll be able to be engaged with other people
Mm-hmm.
using my skills. And well, one of the things that's a barrier for me is that I have to have a set schedule and I can only work part-time. And so that's right now, the people hiring for remote customer service people, they want you available basically 24/7. And oh, by the way, they'll tell you what this week's schedule is going to be, or next week's schedule on Friday of this week. So you can't plan for anything.
Yeah, my husband has that type of schedule where he gets it very, very soon before he starts work.
And that just doesn't, that, I mean, I've got doctors and PT and this, that, and another thing I got to keep in the schedule. And doctors don't let you reschedule a week, you know, 1 week there. And it's sort of like, no. So, you know,
Yeah.
I need a consistent schedule that I can work around.
Mhm.
And I'm only wanting to work 15 to 20 hours a week.
Well, there's a perfect job for you out there. That's when
Oh.
I was looking for work, I would always, you know, try to put that into my mind that somewhere in this world, there's somebody who's thinking, I wish that somebody would come in and do exactly what, you know, she wants to do. So
Yeah.
I always try to like keep that
Oh,
outlook.
I know there's a job out there for me.
The perfect job too. Exactly what
yeah.
you're looking for.
The job that I need is out there.
Mhm.
It's just I have to keep sifting through, and you know, like I said, I'll be able to work from my controlled environment, and but I'll still be able to connect with people, and I'll be helping solve problems for other folks.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure. And there's always going to be customer service positions, and it's
Oh
great
yeah.
to have them remote. I used to do that. I was doing remote customer service for a call center out of Aston for a long time. Well, actually not that long, but it was fun. But yeah, I think that as long as you keep putting it into your mind and focusing on the fact that there's the perfect position and somebody is out there looking to fill exactly what I want. So
Yeah.
it will feel great, and you'll feel a good sense of accomplishment, and you know, so just jot that down on your plan, and that's great.
Yeah.
Does anybody else want to share? We pretty much everybody who's sharing is sharing. Or what about you, Proa? Is that correct? What about the art? What will that feel like when you have your 10 to 15 pieces of art finished? Here, I'm going to ask you to unmute. Sorry.
I think it's going to feel like it will be, it's not like I don't do artwork, and I sort of come off as being really self-confident, but I think there's a part of me that's not that self-confident.
Mhm.
And I think having a body of pieces like that would be a boost to my self-confidence. And I think it would also, I wrote this down. I said, give me a sense of pride. And I wrote the word down, and I was like questioning, like, pride? And I thought, yes, you know, I mean, you could have pride in a good way, like not hubris type of pride, a more, you know, respectful kind of pride of self type of thing. So anyway, yes.
Absolutely. That's great. Well, thanks everybody for sharing. You guys are such a good group. Usually, sometimes it's so hard, you know, because people won't share, and it does not as fun that way. So I'm glad that we have a nice group tonight. So for me, my desired end result will be 3 different trips to visit family in 2022. So I have 1 planned, I told you, so that's 2 more, and at least 7 days of family time / activities where I'm totally off, because you know, it's been a lot of work for me lately. I've been very busy, so I really want to just put the focus back on spending time with family, and just you know, working just a little bit less.
Melissa, can I ask you a question?
Yeah, we're gonna.
When you're doing, I'm looking at your slide, the last slide you just had. How do you know that your desired end result is that you're coming up with is realistic? You know, like when I look at yours, for instance, I would think I see 3 trips to visit family, and I'm thinking, boy, you know, that doesn't seem like a lot, you know, because I know we all want to do more than that. But, you know, how do you know what's realistic? Because the last thing you want to do is set these goals and fail at it because you were over aggressive in your planning.
Right. Well, I think that it's going to be really individual to the person. So
Yeah.
you know that about yourself, and you know that, if I set a goal too high and I really don't hit it very well, I'm going to feel bad about myself. Then, you want to definitely set more realistic goals. But
Yeah.
if you're somebody that really likes to set it high because you know that you'll go further if you, and you won't feel bad when you meet 50% of it, then go for, setting it very high. But
Yeah.
it's, it's an individual process, and you want to do, you don't want to beat yourself up. So if you know that you're going to end up beating yourself up, then, just don't set it too high. But
Yeah.
it's always good to set them and then, kind of come close. But
Yeah.
for me, I think that that's actually, somewhat realistic, because I have family that lives in New Jersey. I have family that lives in Meadowbrook.
Mhm.
I can certainly get 3 trips in if I'm,
Right.
just going Jersey for the day, or
Right.
and I have that one trip to Ohio. So,
Mhm.
but the 7 days, it might be tough. Depending on how I break it up, maybe I can do. I think we're gonna go to Ohio for like 4 or 5 days, and then I also want to do a trip for my anniversary, because it's going to be 5 years of marriage this year. So I think that will be, at least 3 days. So I think that
Yeah.
mine is pretty realistic.
Yeah.
But yeah, just, it all depends on your personality. So it's, what is it, the Sun Tzu? Does anybody like the Art of War here? It's know your enemy, know yourself, 1,000 battles, 1,000 victories.
Hmm.
That was a big book that had a lot of influence on me when I was getting started with business. Is
Uh-huh.
The Art of War, which is really good. I think we have it. Is that on the Library Overdrive app too? I think so. They have a lot of those classics. Now, for you,
I believe it is. Yeah.
can you explain to everybody what the library app, Overdrive app is? I know we have some people that aren't in Pennsylvania.
Overdrive is a nationwide service that a lot of libraries subscribe to. Not everyone does, but it's very, very popular across the country. You can either use it on your desktop or on your phone, any other mobile device. You can download the app and read ebooks, listen to audiobooks. They also have magazines now. They have legal forms. They've added a lot of stuff in there. So it's sort of a one-stop shop for electronic resources. It's really, people love it for novels and audiobooks. And if you have your library card, you can sign up and start your account. And then you can download them, but there are some holds on some of the more popular things. But once, if it's been out for a while, then you can usually just go and borrow it. And it's really handy. I love it.
So I'll check out all these books on my Overdrive app on my phone, audiobooks. And then when I'm driving to and from clients, like some of my clients are an hour away, I'll listen to them on the car speakers. So it's kind of like a free version of what is it, Audible?
Audible.
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. It's like a public resource that's Audible kind of. So I just download them, and then and the car automatically picks it up and starts playing it a lot of times. I just have to put it on the right setting. So I love it. But the only thing that stinks about it is that I don't go to the library as often, and I don't see all my friends at the library, and they probably miss me. So
We do miss you.
yeah,
I've had trouble getting Audible to work, but I've not tried it on my newer computer, so I might have to try it again. It's a laptop, but
yeah,
because
Audible is
it's
great.
too big for my tablets.
Yeah, my husband subscribed to that one for a long time, and he would do the same thing because he was commuting for an hour and 15 minutes a day. So he would listen to books. He listened to Discworld, bunch of other really long.
Discworld was wonderful.
Yeah,
Sorry.
he liked that one a lot. So
It's hilarious.
that's like a little good resource that not everybody knows about. So I know that we kind of have been doing our project plan, and so we're gonna skip our little break for it. We already talked about our goal plans. So some of the benefits to think about of achieving your goals, might be, getting in better shape, or like I said, traveling, learning on different apps on the phone. But these benefits could be, having a better education, having less stress, having more time. And then also I do have a bunch of tips on my blog. I have a blog for this same, going through the same steps that we went through today. I also do a monthly blog and email newsletter if you want to learn more about getting organized. January was selling your stuff with less stress, which is kind of a Lehigh Valley specific one, but there are some resources that have locations in other places.
Can you put the link for your chat or your for your blog in the chat?
Yeah, I will do that right now. So you have to scroll down. This also has the download that I sent out. If you scroll to the bottom, that's there. So these are just a couple of tips that were from the blog. Number one is get into the habit of achieving your goals. So if you, if you finish one goal, it makes you feel so good that you can kind of like piggyback off that and use it to achieve other goals in other areas. It's kind of like domino effect. Number two is to write it down, which we did today. So this is 2019 goals. You can see it's that one is an old image, but it's proven that when you write down goals, you have a much higher chance of actually achieving them. And only like a small percentage of people will write down goals. And for me, I like to do a vision board every once in a while. And I had this one vision board where I typed everything up, and like I had 5 years, I had goals, like, and every single one of those goals, like it was like get married, get a house, do that, pay off credit card debt. I pretty much achieved every single thing I put down on that vision board. So writing it down is very powerful. Tell everybody else what the goals are. So this is kind of what we're doing tonight, is we're telling other people what our goals are. So that makes us more accountable to actually taking action and achieving them. And for me, I did this in a big way when I was wanting to go back to dance class after 10 years. So I had danced all through, middle school and high school. And in my first year of college, I did not go out for dance, and I didn't take dance class until I was 30. And so what I did was I was working with a time management coach, and he was helping me kind of do this type of thing, set up a plan. And I posted online that I was going to go to dance class tonight. And all my family, like people were saying, go, good for you. That's so exciting. Like they gave me all these props, and I did follow through with it. And I went to dance class that night, and I have been doing dance on and off ever since. Actually, definitely need to make more time for it now, but it's been getting pretty crazy lately. And also, so if you post on Facebook, Michael, I want to, this is the year I'm going to finish my novel. Like how much can you back out of that goal once you post it on your Facebook wall? It's going to be pretty hard. So that's a good way to kind of just push yourself in the right direction, is post the goal that you have and share it with other people, or even just to share it with a best friend. That way they can kind of just point you in the right direction if they see something that'll help you, or, give you some encouragement. My fourth tip is to gamify your goals. And this comes from, there's a website called Habitify, I believe, and they actually help you break your goal down and turn it into like almost a little like video game. And so if you can find a way to make like actually achieving your goal fun and like a video game, then it will be a lot easier. So the example I have for this is that there's a website for typing, and it's called Nitro Type. And this is actually a little video game that you type fast and you make the car go faster, and you can play against other people. So I found out, I forget how I like stumbled across this by accident, and I was like, well, I do want to type faster. So by playing this game and like competing and just like kind of playing a video game, I was able to improve my typing speed from 60 words per minute to like up to, I was getting up to like 85 or 90 at one point. You know, so that was able to help me save a lot of time, but also
Can you put a link to that one in the chat? Because I need to up my speed for some of these jobs I'm applying for.
yeah, it's Nitro Type, and just showed it to a client the other day. nitrotype.com. So, and that's fun too, because there's some people from like all over the country and stuff, and you know. And tip number 5, and I'm gonna send this to Martha and a little bit. Don't stress too much about your goals. Like at the end of the day, you know, all of us are like, you know, achievement based, and we want to reach these goals, but it's important to not beat yourself up and not to make yourself feel guilty for not doing these things, because that, you know, creating all this negative emotion and stress is not going to help you. Even if you know you achieve your goal, but you end up with stomach ulcers, which is another thing that Zig Ziglar says. He says, I believe, you know, that if you make it to the top, but you end up with a totally bankrupt family, then you haven't, you know, you're not successful. Or, you know, if you end up with stomach ulcers, you're not really successful.
Right.
So I'm glad that we were all able to kind of expand our possibilities a little bit tonight and learn about different strategies for breaking our goals down and getting more organized throughout the year. So if you want to follow me, you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook. I don't post a lot, so sorry about that. That's one of my my goals, is post more. And LinkedIn, I'm on LinkedIn as Melissa Draving. And feel free to reach out to me if you have questions, or you know, you need help with any problems, coaching, like technology, feel free. So it's 7:30 now, so if you are somebody that has to get off, and that's totally fine, but I, you know, be happy to answer questions for another 10 minutes. And
Can you put your contact info back on the screen so I can take a screenshot?
sure. Oh, and then thank you very much. And that's my little picture of my client's house. Does anybody else have any other questions about any the organizing or goal related?
Thank you, Melissa. I really enjoyed it. I got a lot out of it.
Me
Thanks
too.
for coming.
Same here.
Good to see everybody. Thanks for coming tonight.
Okay,
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And
Bye.
Michael, I left a note for you, Michael, because I'm originally from Michigan
Oh,
and I went to University of Michigan.
okay. Where's the note?
It's in the
In the
chat.
chat.
In the
Oh,
chat.
okay, thanks. Didn't see it.
It's just-
Okay,
Yeah.
well, I'm originally from New York.
Yeah.
Well,
well,
I'm a
there's-
strat brat from Wyoming,
Yeah.
and
But-
I'm currently in the Denver, Colorado area.
I love these Zooms, how we get to have people from all over, not just from Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you know, everybody's from somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Well, I was born back east and raised on the West Coast for 10 years. And then in 74, my dad got transferred to Warren, and Wyoming claims me. And I've definitely got a Wyoming attitude, unlike the universe and everything. So yeah, Wyoming claims me, so I claim Wyoming. And as my friend who is a Wyoming native, born and raised, he says I've gone native.
Thanks, everybody. Have a nice evening.
You too,
Appreciate it.
Orpha.
Thank you.
Bye.
We'll look for
Thank
your
Thanks,
friends out there in the
Melissa.
world.